Hello and welcome back to the Dance to Learn YouTube channel. My name is Jessica Strong, and if you are looking for dance teacher tips, tricks, and advice, you've come to the right place. I invite you to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you never miss a video. I have a fun video for you today. So if you don't know, I feel like I've talked about this before, but just in case it's your first time here, I have written a couple of books, and these books are companions in my dance classes. And one of those books is called Florrie Flamingo's ABCs of Dance. And I wrote this book as a goal to help our youngest dancers become familiar with ballet terminology and the meanings of those words. So today what I have for you, I'm going to show you how you can create an A, B, C, D, E, F obstacle course using some of the terms inside of this book, Florrie Flamingo's first ballet class. So let me read A through F for you first so that you can get a feel for the dance movements and what we're going to perform today in our obstacle course. Florrie does an arabesque with toes pointed and legs stretched. Bourrée walking on tiptoes, picking her feet up as she goes. Find your ankle for coupé. It may be called baby passe. Dégagé with pointed toes should brush the floor as Florrie knows. Jump first and second to Échappé, escape the floor and fly away. In Fondu, you bend your knees, melting softly and with ease. So now that we know the A through F ballet terminology and what we're learning, let me give you a peek at our A through F obstacle course. I also want to connect this to some dance concepts today. So I'm going to give you 3 different ways that you could connect an obstacle course like this to some of our dance concepts and dance elements. So let's get into it. So this is our obstacle course today, and it is marked out in stations. So this first station right here, the purple dot and the curvy balance beam, that's our letter A and B for Arabesque and Bourrée. Station 2 is marked with that blue poly spot and this straight balance beam, and that is Coupé and Dégagé. And then we have our E station for Échappé and Fondu over there at the end. So this is the setup, and depending on the dance concepts, I will give you 3 dance concepts that you can explore. So if you were to explore the one I like to do in my lessons, because we do this lesson plan or this curriculum, I should say, pretty early on in our dance season. So I like to connect it to motions. So we explore non-locomotion and locomotion, or basically stationary movements or traveling movements. And that connects to the element of action. So what this would look like is any place that's marked with a dome or our stepping stone there in the back, that is going to be a non-locomotor movement. So that is a stationary, non-traveling movement. Anything that's visually marked with a larger element, so for example, our curvy balance beam, our straight balance beam, and our row of cones and dots, that signifies a locomotor or traveling movement. Now, if you wanted to teach the dance concept of states, which is the second of our action element, you could teach dynamic state and static state. So static is like non-locomotion. So we are not moving or traveling. So we are in a static state on our areas where we have a dome or a stepping stone. Visually, the larger elements, the 2 balance beams and our row of cones and dots, those are our dynamic state or dynamic balance. We are traveling and remaining balanced, and we are in dynamic movement. The third concept that you could explore with an obstacle course such as this is space. You could do self-space and general space. So anything on self-space, again, is going to be marked by our 3 dome or stepping stone elements. And then general space, we're traveling through the room with these larger elements. So our balance beams and our cones. Now, I teach this curriculum for 2 different classes. I will teach this curriculum for creative dance. My creative dance classes are between the ages of 3 to 4, and most of the time it's their first time in a dance class. So I teach things differently than I would a pre-ballet, which is the second class that I would teach this lesson plan to. Pre-ballet is going to be anywhere between the ages of 5 to 7. So depending on where they are in their dance journey is going to depend on how I teach some of these technical skills. So just think about the ages of your dancers and what you think they're going to be able to learn and what's going to work for them. So Arabesque is obviously, I'm going to explain this as the way I teach it, which is motions. So we are exploring non-locomotion and locomotion. So Arabesque is a non-locomotor skill. And I like to tell my dancers to have straight arms and straight legs. And it's not even about how high their leg can get when they're this little, they're new to dance. Their leg will get higher with time. This is just about finding the shape of that movement. So straight arms and then straight legs. We balance 1, 2, 3. And our other leg, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do our first locomotor skill. This is Bourrée. So Bourrée, walking on tiptoes. So I like to connect my curvy balance beam to curvy arms. And I like to describe this to my littlest dancers because I enjoy using imagery. I want you to imagine you are Florrie Flamingo and you're fancy. You're wearing your fanciest crown and your high heels as you Bourrée walk on the curvy balance beam. So that's a fun little way that you can use some imagery for that portion of our obstacle course. All right, now this is station 2. So station 2 is C and D. So we have Coupé. And Coupé, I would do a couple different things. I'll look at you guys so you can see the difference. I would do either Coupé in a parallel, where we find our ankle and we balance 1, 2, 3. And that would be a great option for younger dancers between the ages of 3 to 4, or even first time dancers in your pre-ballet class. I would do parallel. Once they've had a little bit more ballet experience, you can have them do a slight turnout at their Coupé once they've had a little more time in dance classes. So now we have straight. We're going to connect straight to the letter D, which was our dégagé. I would normally snake around and do it this way, but because you are there, I'm going to face this way for you so you can have a better angle. But our dégagé is on a straight balance beam because it's a movement where we need straight arms and straight legs. So I try to connect those visual elements with our body shapes and what our body should look like when we are performing these movements on our equipment. So after our dégagé, we snake around, and this is our third station. This is our échappé and our fondu. So échappé is another one like Coupé, where depending on the age or how long they've been in my dance class, I'm either going to teach parallel or in a slight turned out position if they're a little older and say perhaps in a pre-ballet class. So our feet jump second and together. So big over the cone, little on the dot. We can also turn this into that slight first position, and we can jump first and second position over those. elements as we perform that locomotor skill. And then Fondu. Let me just move this out of the way so you can get a clear picture of Fondu. So this is a flat surface. This is the Little Steps by Lily and River. And it's a nice flat surface compared to my domes, which have a more curved surface. So this is more of a challenge. But Fondu is a challenging skill. It's probably the most advanced skill that we learn this week. So I give them a little flat surface, and you could even do this on a flat poly spot if you don't have the Lily and River. And I like to keep, I'll turn sideways for this one. I like to keep their ball of the foot on the floor, so we just kind of lift our heel, pop our heel up, and then we just do a little bend and stretch as we practice melting. Now for older dancers in a pre-ballet class, I'm not going to teach turnout for this skill, but once they've mastered this, I am going to have them in a parallel position, practice that melting and stretching in a coupé on one leg. So it would look like that. But that is an example of an alphabet obstacle course inspired by the book Florrie Flamingo's ABCs of Dance. Now, if you are interested in this book and curriculum, make sure that you join me on my email list. This is a 4-week curriculum, so there's multiple aspects and several different alphabet obstacle courses like this one. So if you would like to be on our wait list for this curriculum as we finish filming and putting all of the elements together, please get on our email list. I've dropped a link to join our email list in the first comment. You'll get on a specialized Florrie Flamingo email list, and you'll be the first to know when this book and 4-week curriculum is available. All right, thank you so much for joining me on today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. You can also get your copy of Florrie Flamingo's ABCs of Dance on our website. We also sell it on Amazon worldwide. So if you aren't in the United States and you would like a copy, check out your country's Amazon. Just type in Florrie Flamingo and the book will come up for you. I will see you guys next time on another episode here on the Dance to Learn YouTube channel. Happy dance adventuring!